starting up the run, we have Slosh playing through Sonic Origins. Slosh, take it away.
Hello everyone, my name is Slosh, and I'm going to be running Sonic Origins, Sonic 1 and Sonic 3 and Knuckles mission modes. So Sonic Origins is a collection of Sonic 1, Sonic CD, Sonic 2, and Sonic 3 and Knuckles that was released to celebrate 31 years of Sonic. And along with having those original games, it also has a couple extra modes, one of which is Boss Rush, and then there's also the one that we're running today, Mission Mode. Missions are sort of snippets of stages with various challenges, whether it's defeating certain enemies, beating a chunk of a stage within a certain time, beating Eggman in really wacky ways. It's a lot of really cool stuff, so I'm not going to really waste any time because it's much better to explain things as they're happening. So, gonna give a quick countdown and then we are going to be off. So, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So, this first mission is a real good, entry into mission mode. It's just a short, sweet, beat 5 specific enemies on Scrap Brain. It sort of gives you a taste of what mission mode is going to, what types of challenges mission mode might be throwing at you. This one is, fortunately, I like the fact that this one's early because it's kind of slow and, yeah, it's just kind of slow. We have to parkour our way through these boxes up to the goal, which is way above the start. And we have to be very careful not to get crushed, because you get crushed, especially if you get crushed late here towards the end of the stage, you're losing a lot of time. So these gaps you really want to make sure that you spin dash across, or else you could risk jumping at the wrong time, and we don't want to do that. Up next, we are going to be running through most of Marble Zone Act 1 while invincible, trying to grab 100 rings. We're not going to pick up the rings at the start, though, because those rings are in slow spots, and there are so many rings on this stage. I did not mean to jump into that hole. But one thing that's very important to make sure of on this stage is that you're getting from invincibility box to invincibility box as quickly as possible, especially early, so that way we can beat out this cycle on the moving platforms. But you need to, in order to beat this mission, you have to cross the goal with 100 rings in your possession. So if your invincibility were to run out, and you get hit, you would lose all of your rings and pretty much have to restart the mission. So it's very important to keep track of your invincibility count and invincibility timer. That's what I meant to say. It's your ring count. That's the count. All right, now we're in Labyrinth Zone. We need 50 rings as quickly as possible. Gotta make sure not to get hit by that spike. I made the same mistake on that stage that I made on the last one. Sonic 1 physics are a little bit rough. If you end up spin dashing into the side of a wall and jump, all of your momentum just is gone. So you really want to make sure that you jump before you get to the wall, or else you're going to be losing all of your speed. Dang, jumped a little early. So this mission got to beat 10 badniks while spin dashing, which is nice and easy. We've already done that. And then reach the goal. I accidentally spin dashed at the top of that hill, cutting all of my speed. Whoops. All around, 31 is a really, really fast time for that mission. Up next, we've got probably the jankiest mission we're going to be playing between Sonic 1 and Sonic 3 and Knuckles. We have to defeat... Come on, Knuckles. We have to defeat 15 enemies while using Knuckles' glide attack. And... okay. That's never happened. I've never landed on that block and just slid like that. The thing that makes this challenge hard is if you get too close to any of the walls, Knuckles will just cling to the wall. And that can happen. Knuckles likes causing trouble on this stage. There is a harder version of that mission, but we will not be seeing that in this category, as that is one of the extreme missions that is unlocked via DLC. The extreme missions are really hard, and not marathon safe at all, which is a shame, because some of them are really, really cool. That one there, we had to get through the stage without defeating any of the enemies. That's sort of, I think, why it's called Mercy. This is another one of those missions where we have to defeat a certain number of enemies and reach the goal. This stage is very generous with the enemy count. Oh, I hit 10. I thought I only hit 9. I can count. We're coming up to... Okay, this next mission is probably the closest you're going to get to, like, a full stage in mission mode. It's not a full stage, it's most of a stage, and you have to beat it without any rings, so you cannot take any damage, or else you will be sent back to the start of the stage. Fortunately, it's not an overly hard level. I say that as I completely mess up my jump, and I fall onto a crab and die 22 seconds into the stage. Go me. What I was trying to do there was I couldn't decide if I wanted to land on the platform above that crab bot and then spin dash, or just carry the jump all the way and land on the crab directly. And I sort of went for something, I guess, in between, and that's not good. So here I'm going to... Yeah, that's what was supposed to happen. Anyway. Yeah, that's why having no rings can make challenges like this a little bit tricky, but I was about to say something about, fortunately, they chose a stage that's not very hard. Then I died. And next up, we've got everyone's favorite zone, Green Hill Zone, but with swings and piranha fish robots over the whole stage. This strat that I'm doing, I found this morning. Oh shoot, I'm gonna miss this cycle on the moving platform. Yeah, I got stuck on some odd geometry with that platform, but that still should save a couple seconds. I didn't realize that if you time your jumps right, you can just sort of not play the challenge. The challenge is called a swing in good time, and we just sort of don't use the swings for the first 2 sections of the stage, which I didn't realize you could do. But doing a spin dash on that piranha bot early in the stage gives you an extreme amount of height. So here on this mission, we're going to damage boost to get through the lava section early, and then spin dash. I don't know how I didn't get hit there. If I had gotten hit there, that would not have been that big of a deal, as I would have been able to either get through the pillar cycle or just wait it out. But I think every single block. Tails, you're not helping. This is yet another mission on Marble Zone that can get really finicky really quickly, because if you go below any of these falling blocks, you get crushed. That's fine, because I can pick up a ring here. Okay. We're fine. Marble Zone has quite a few of the, like, longer missions in Sonic 1. It just so happens that it has back-to-back missions that are pretty tricky. But now we've got one of my favorite Sonic 1 missions. We are fighting Eggman in Starlight Zone. But if anyone watching is familiar with this boss fight, you'll notice that something is very different. There's no floor underneath these seesaws, making it quite the interesting fight. You do have to be very careful about landing on the seesaws as the mines come down, because it is possible to just sort of get bamboozled by the game and fall through the seesaw and die, because there's not floor underneath the seesaw, as you can clearly see. There we go. Ended up missing a cycle. Lost a few seconds, but not that big of a deal. Alright, and we are already coming up to the final star difficulty of missions in Sonic 1. The 5-star missions. These are pretty tough. Okay. There's Sonic getting stuck because the Sonic 1 physics are a little bit janky again. Hopefully... Turn around, Sonic. Thank you. Alright. That mission is very short, but very hard unless you know the exact enemy pattern that is going to be... Or I should say the exact enemy movement pattern. That one took a little bit of figuring out to find a nice safe path. And now this mission is pretty interesting. You have to make it through this underwater section without losing this ring, and I really need this to give me an air bubble. Thank you. Okay. Uh-oh. Okay, got the ring back. I'm gonna get hit again. This happened last time I ran this in a marathon. I got to this part of the stage, and then for whatever reason I just started running into these spiky balls, and now I need to get out of the water because Sonic's running out of air. There we go. I don't know what it is about this mission and just not being able to play it in marathons. Oh well. That's Sonic 1 missions. Now we're going to Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Sonic 3 and Knuckles missions are... These are probably my favorite levels in the entirety of Sonic Origins as a whole. I have put a lot of time into grinding this category as far as possible. And actually, I believe I found a faster cycle on a stage that we're going to be seeing later. While sitting here practicing, waiting for my run to start. So, brand new cycle skip later in the run. But now we've got some Knuckles climbing out of an icy hole, I guess, icy chasm. This stage can go by really fast if you land on each of those platforms and then jump before clinging to the wall. Because climbing is kind of slow. It's not the fastest movement tech in Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Or just any game with Knuckles in general. But since we need to go up, if we jump, that'll save a lot of time. Oh, I need to hit that spring. I probably should explain the elemental shields, as that stage had one of them, and there will be a stage coming up very shortly that will have all three. So in Sonic 3, there are 3 different elemental shields. There's the lightning shield, there's the bubble shield, and there's the fire shield. The lightning shield gives us a double jump and a ring magnet, so all rings within a certain distance from Sonic will just get magnetized to him. And the point of that challenge was to grab 25 rings and reach the goal using that ring magnetism. The fire shield gives you a mid-air dash and also prevents you from taking damage from fire. And the bubble shield gives you a bounce and lets Sonic breathe underwater. Or Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. And soon Amy. Amy's going to be added to this game later this month, actually, which I'm super, super excited about. We're about to close out the 3 and Knuckles 2-star missions with Tails' Balloon Burst. That stage was a nightmare to route out. Trying to hit as many balloons on the way up is definitely the strat, because each time Tails hits one of the balloons, he flies way up in the air. So you want to try and combo as many of those as possible. Now we're on to another Mercy mission. Don't want to hit any of the enemies or else we will get sent back to the start of the stage. And I think the next stage is the one with all 3 elemental shields. Yep, Ring Vacuum Tube. I don't know why it's called Ring Vacuum Tube, because it's a different challenge than the first Ring Vacuum. But we just sort of have to utilize all of the elemental shields. Please Spin Dash, Sonic, thank you. I'm going to use the Bubble Shield's bounce to get through climbing out of the water faster. And want to jump over that fire shield so that way we've got the lightning shield to get through the electricity line, and so that way we can double jump up to the goal faster. And I don't know why it said on the results screen 30, because the timer said 29. I feel robbed. Thank you, game. Alright. Got another one of those ring collection missions. I like to call this mission Time Lost City Zone, because this specific Hydro City mission, for a very long time, I would just constantly find new and interesting ways to lose a bunch of time on this stage. But that might be an ILPB that I just got, so we're not losing any time this time. What challenge is next? Fireball Dash! Okay. So now we're going to really see that dash ability that the Fire Shield grants, as we need to beat 5 of each of these Butterfly and Rooster enemies using the Fire Dash. Now I'm going to jump down here. I did not want to grab that in case I got hit by that Rooster, but that's fine, because I didn't. And then there should be one Butterfly over here. There we go. That was a really good Fireball Dash. I'm very happy with that. Alright, this is a little bit of a longer mission. We gotta defeat 15 of these Rhinobots, so if the host has anything that they would like to say, now would be a fantastic time.
Yep, I would quickly like to point out that we are still raising funds for Little Warriors, and that they have a wonderful set of, they focus on the awareness, prevention, and treatment of child sexual abuse, with programs including a free child sexual abuse workshop called Prevent-A-Thon, a bridge community program to educate all children and youth on a variety of topics for their overall mental health and well-being, and an online comprehensive Be Brave Bridge program that connects specialized counselors and coaches with children, teens, and parents who have been impacted by child sexual abuse. For more information, visit littlewarriors.ca.
Okay, so I just was experimenting a little bit at the start of that stage. I did not realize that I wanted to see if jumping after grabbing the bubble shield at the start would allow me to get past the square blocks faster. And apparently no, because the shield does not activate before you would collide with that enemy. So don't jump at the start of that mission. You've learned it all together. Alright, now this Eggman fight is the stage that I was talking about getting a faster cycle on. So I was able to land 3 hits at the before Eggman flew away. And before, I had only ever really been able to hit 2, so this is going to speed things up immensely, except he had to fly away with his fire jets right then. That was unfortunate timing. But still, the 3 hits ended up saving an entire cycle, which is very handy to have. And now we only have 2 missions in this run left. One is an auto-scroller, and that is this one. This one is pretty much just stand on the left side of the screen as Flying Battery, at least I think this is Flying Battery flying overhead, drops a bunch of enemies and missiles from the sky, and we have to defeat 10 enemies. If you miss some enemies and don't quite get 10, it will loop again, However, it is the entire loop. It is not until you get 10, so that would be a huge time loss. So you really want to make sure that you hit at least 10 of the 11 enemies that Flying Battery drops from the skies. And now, this is the final mission in the run, Speedy Swim. Time will be when I hit the signpost at the end of the stage, which is coming up very shortly. This is a very quick mission. But you have to be as fast as possible, as there is a moving wall chasing you. And time. That is Sonic Origins, Sonic 1 and Sonic 3 and Knuckles missions. I feel like that went really, really well. Aside from that one little mishap in Sonic 1. Yes. Alright, so I'm going to give a couple real quick shoutouts before hopping away. I want to shout out the classic Sonic speedrunning community, very supportive bunch. Especially shoutouts to Hypnotics for helping me learn actually the Sonic CD missions category, and also just encouraging me a lot with the mission mode speedruns in general. That's been very, very nice. And I want to give a shout out to everyone running Prevent-A-Thon for having me and letting me show off what I feel like is a very underrated Sonic game. I absolutely adore Sonic Origins. Shameless plug, if you enjoyed the run, I do speedrun some more Sonic and some other stuff on my Twitch and on my YouTube. My username on both is /W. But yeah, that's gonna be all the Sonic from me. Thank you so much for having me.